a Muslim with a woo-woo Christian in a biracial marriage. They are gym owners with tips on wellness, mindset, creating inner peace, and happiness despite differences. You're listening to the Clem and Alfred Unequally Yoked podcast.
Hey everybody, it's Clem.
And Alfred.
We are Clem and Alfred Unequally Yoked, and today we are at Victory Get Fit Club, our gym that we started. Actually, we started Victorious Lives LLC 2005. Before that, actually started in our garage in 2003. We've been in fitness for a really long time. We actually met in fitness.
We did.
We did.
We met at the gym.
We have different stories.
You have to go
about
all the
that,
way back to episode 1 to hear
yeah,
that story.
to hear those stories. But Alfred was working for 24 Fitness when we got married. Well, actually, we both worked at 24 Fitness before when we were just dating. And then as we got married, you stayed in the company.
And you went into the child care.
And you became general manager.
And Clem got frustrated. She goes, all the parents, come get your children. Kids Club is now closed.
Well, there's a rule. You should only have 3 kids per, or I forget. I think back then, legally should be 5 kids per attendant, and we had like 16 or something per meet.
15 or 16
for just one person in there.
So she shut it down for safety purposes.
For safety purposes. Or just frustration purposes. Anyway, so we started back then, and over the years, I think my second child, I decided to get my own business license and certification, and over the years through outdoor boot camps, we started Victory Get Fit Club, an indoor mind and physique transformation boutique for women. We also do men personal training, but it's brick and mortar. And, starting something new is scary, especially when you're paying big rent. And having to be responsible outside was nice because all we did was show up to parks and show up to, football fields before people arrived. It'd be 5 a.m, but now
in and out, 5 to 6.
Yeah, so now we pay not mortgage, but lease, and so we've now evolved into a co-working space for other trainers, supporting them to build their businesses, helping them take the fear out of entrepreneurial, it's scary at first.
It can be scary. Actually, one of our newer trainers is going through getting set up, just taking that entrepreneurial leap. So he's still using paper files, paper everything.
Because we used paper back in the day, 24 Fitness. So his gym actually just closed in 2 days before, told them that they were closing. Mm-hmm. So he has a nice big client list that had nowhere to go. They were shutting down doors in Auburn.
I have to say something. This woman been open for 14 years.
No, longer than that. 15, if you count my garage.
Well, okay, 15 years if you count 16. The garage. Most of these companies, they are in and out in a matter of 2 to 3 years. They get off to a rocket start and then...
There's so many different... Thank you for that. Yes. So don't pat myself on the back too often.
Pat you on the back on the TV, on the television.
So, it does say that at 5 years, most businesses, 80% of businesses go out of business in the 5th year, and the 6th year it gets hard. And I think even opening this space got to a point where I got tired for a little bit. Maybe I'm not cut out for this, or maybe I don't want to do this. And maybe, having this kind of responsibility wasn't for me. We make it look super easy, me and Alfred, because we're really laid back, fun, and just joyful. And then when we get stressed out, it gets a little difficult. But people you know, if you're on the outside looking in and not knowing what we have to deal with, it's easy to say, oh, you should do this and you should do that, and you could do that, and that, you know, it's easy to. It's like watching a football game. It's easy to tell the screen what to do.
Just throw the ball.
You should make a pass or run this play. It's easy to do that when you're not actually in it.
Right.
So, but this is our 7th year, and number 7 actually is a very spiritual number. It has a lot of, it means completion. You've come to completeness. It means it's time to rest now. It means there's a lot having to do with complete perfection, completeness, rest. I forget what else it has meaning. It's important in Hinduism, Islam, and also in Judaism. So it's pretty universal.
And Christianity.
Yeah. So today is January 7th, and it's our 7th year anniversary.
Woo!
How has it been, Alfred, working with your wife as a business partner?
Hey, let's pause for a brief intermission. I actually think it's beneficial because we go through the daily grind together, we grow together, we learn throughout the business, and some of the, you know, it does cross-pollinate over into your marriage. So you get an opportunity to work on challenges together versus separately, and then coming home and just crashing on the couch. I mean, we're in it together. It's a team effort.
We did. I mean, the imbalance was there. We're not saying everything was perfect and hunky-dory all the time. There was a big imbalance of mostly business life, and when we would go out on a date, we would talk about business. We were very, even our vacations were centered around business, and so our kids would come on vacations / mostly business. Oh, and while we're in LA, let's go to, let's go to Disneyland or whatever, as a side note. But they were raised that way, and that's what they knew. I think looking back, I have regrets. The kids don't know so much, but because they don't know any different. But I do wish, for me, knowing what I know now, I wish we had taken more time to be as a couple, which is what even through the years we went to couple counseling and we took, marriage seminars, and they said that all the time too. But I think we were a couple and going out and doing these dates and stuff, but we just didn't know how to be a couple, if that makes sense. We just were we knew how to be business partners, so we didn't talk about real issues that mattered to the heart. And if you're new to quantum physics or the different kind of spirituality where everything's frequency, everything is emotion, everything is feelings. That's what our frequencies are. The different frequency are feelings. And we just didn't learn to talk about feelings. We talked about numbers. We talked about, right and wrong, what's going wrong with the business or right with the business, and how can we make, better, bigger moves. We didn't talk about feelings so much, and all our issues actually stem from some kind of frustration, sadness, separation, lack of connection. But we think our frustrations are actually about the issue, and it's really not about the issue. And we kind of dropped the ball on
For many years.
Yeah, for many years. So those who are out there going, oh, couple goals, you guys are my couple idol. We had to get through so much.
We still have something to go through. We're working on it. We just continue to work on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just continually just keep going. But I think it's good that we did work together. We did. It was so hard to go have a cup of tea without talking about business. It's like it always would come up. We try to catch ourselves. No, let's not talk about it. Then we're back to talk, because our business was pretty much our life.
The center of everything. Center.
Which is one of the reasons why I really don't try to talk a whole lot of real estate with my wife, because that's a whole nother business with a whole bunch of other stuff that we could talk about. we just try to, keep it to fitness. Then after that, we just do what we do and try to let the business.
I think now that I have more balance in my life too, with working less in the club and delegating some of our like accounting and some of that stuff to other people, I have more balance, and now actually doing business feels satisfying. You're going to hear weights and plates and punching in the background if you're listening to podcasts. But here's a good tip, I believe, if you want to work with your spouse in partnership of not just business, but in anything, is find a balance that creates satisfaction and fulfillment for you individually. And that way, when you do come together with your spouse, your actual time together is rewarding. I know if I'm coming to him and we're spending time together, I'm going to be frustrated, irritated. I'm going to act like a child and blame or be a victim or whatever, because I'm not fully taking care of myself in a manner that I can come and be with someone and not, put it on.
And how would you go about doing that, Clemens?
I do my meditations.
Okay.
I get my, I do a lot of meditation and reading and see my energy healer and life coach, talking to, getting things out, and really more recently learning to identify, because I do operate mostly in my masculine energy, learning to identify feelings, learning to name them, learning to pause and see, what does this feeling mean, or what is this feeling, what is it called, and then being able to be truthful when you meet with, like when I get with Alfred. Then I can really honestly convey what's going on, as opposed to the mask of, oh, you didn't call so-and-so back, and you didn't take care of that client, and you didn't do the thing that you said you were going to do, and now,
And then I just go.
And then it turns into a fight. Or so I can actually come into conversation a lot more whole and calm, and
so meditation is a huge part of it.
Meditation and learning, and actually having a coach to speak things out and work things out and get an outside advice. Because if I'm trying to work it out myself, I'm going to continue to do the thing I'm always doing, because 95% of the thoughts we think are the same thoughts, and we're going to react the same way. So having an outside view really does help.
Yeah, coaching is key.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big on that.
Yeah, get one.
I have one. I have two. They're related to my hobby, but I have two.
Okay. Yes, do the inner work. Inner work. I don't know if your hobby teaches inner work. Is it fishing?
I don't have a fishing coach, Rob Groves.
Fishing coach.
I got a meal plan.
Oh,
And
yeah.
an
Okay.
opposing coach.
They're not paid to do the inner work.
And then what I do is I just kind of take the stuff that Clements,
No,
like she'll
it
come
doesn't
home
even- it's
and she'll
not
tell
the
me like,
same.
I went to this huge seminar, so I just watched the guy's videos and I
It's not even the same.
But I have a
that's-
huge benefit.
Yeah, but it's
I
not.
don't want to freak anybody out, but I was able to accomplish some amazing things this weekend by watching one video.
by
so,
gleaning off of my learning.
yes.
But it's not the same, because
It's
there's
not.
actual life issues and feelings. You still have to learn how to identify where your issues come from. And if you keep thinking, oh, we're fighting over a client's account or a password for Netflix, then that's really not the real issue. You might be tired, but you don't know how to say it, or you might be fatigued and don't know how to say what you need from your partner. And I think we went through that for many years, is not learning to identify our actual emotions, our frequency, not knowing what frequency we're on, and then not knowing how to ask for support and what we need in the moment. So it gets emotional. It can get fired up. So, Alfred,
I
tell
don't
us.
like you either.
So it's our 7th year, and what do you think looking back, what has been the most satisfying in doing business? Because you also do real estate, and I mostly only do fitness.
I got to tell you, one of the most satisfying things is to watch these amazing women, and now we even have some men that work out here, just completely transform and accomplish things that they thought was just way out there, and they could never do it. Some of our clients, a small percentage of our clients, I think we broke it down, it was like 10 to 12%, actually had a deep down desire inside to compete and get on stage. They were inspired by Clements, Tabitha, and Diane, who went up first, and then next thing you know, there's 18 of them that want to do it. You know, that was just amazing to watch that happen. And then there's a picture of Tam, and she had a goal for 2 years to get what we said 0-0. That means she needs to gain 0 muscle, and she would need to lose 0 fat. So that was
just to be healthy and happy and in the normal everyday average health.
That was a biomarker for her. She was so happy. We took a picture of her, and the picture's up there. Maybe Clem could snapshot it and put it in the video.
On the wall.
But just to watch these clients progress and to grow physically and mentally, and to hear them start to repeat some of the words that we have put out there for them is just amazing. And now it's really exciting to see Tia, Tim, and John come in. There's new blood in the facility. They have their clients that are here, and the energy is just, it's amazing. I know you can hear the weights in the background, clickety clacking. That was not happening some time ago, and it's just we're in a really, really good space. So it's exciting times. That 7th year, I'm not gonna necessarily say that we're gonna rest. I mean,
but we can in a way now enjoy the fruits of our labor.
And that's what we're gonna do.
As opposed to grind, hustle, push. It's now, okay, trust in what we've created and allow it to feed us, allow it to give us the nourishment that we had been planting all these years, I think. You know, that number 7. So
what was it? The 7th year in the crops with what was his name? 7 years of famine. 7 years his brothers threw him in the pit. Oh, I'll ask Rob.
Oh, was it?
Was it Jacob?
No, it's the one that became Pharaoh's right-hand man. Anyways, there is 7 years of famine and 7 years of abundance.
Yes.
And it's our turn because we got the famine. We got the. No, we had some really good. So let's talk about some of the lessons we learned, like through the years. We had some really, really high up there, really rocking years where we were making a whole lot of money, and not knowing how to communicate, I think, with one another and ask what we need or how to. For me, I'm like, I knew what I needed, but I didn't know how to articulate it. And he didn't know how to support, because it's like, how do you support what you don't know? And you know, and then it became the blame game. And
it's your fault.
Oh, it's your fault for not knowing how to be in touch with your family.
Well, how am I supposed to know? You didn't tell me. You guys know. You guys go through that. Well, it's your fault. Well, you never told me, so I didn't know.
So we grew not really fast. There was a ramping up, and then there was a time when we were rock and rolling, and then there was so much on my plate when it comes to the back office stuff, customer service, marketing, and then I also taught the classes, and then, you know, then you have your books to balance, and there's so much in business. It's easy for someone outside who doesn't have a business to just go, oh, just do that. But there's a lot of moving pieces all the time. And then when you think, I'm going to sit down and do this today, and this is my money day where I handle the books. and do the accounting, and then you have other people sending you constant messages. I have an issue or a problem, or so this happened to me, or I'm not getting the results I want, and it's your fault.
If you take 5 minutes too long to respond, all of a sudden you're ignoring them and you don't like them.
Yeah,
you're not my
or
friend.
if you don't smile or wave.
It's tough. You got these 7 plates spinning, and as soon as you leave one, it starts to teeter-totter, and sometimes they fall.
Biggest tip would be to set boundaries. Set boundaries. Like, this is my start of the day, this is my end of the day, this is what time I answer phones, this is when I don't answer phones, this is when I do social media. If you could just hire someone to do that, that'd be great. But if you do it yourself, this is the time, and I stay within that time, and this is my family time. Mm-hmm. So the time blocking is huge. Time blocking
and
is
also,
huge.
like, this is what we offer, and we don't necessarily offer
Oh
this.
my gosh, that is huge.
You know, people, they have their ideas, and you guys should try this and try that. But we've been around since 2005. We've tried a lot.
Yeah.
And some things just don't work for us. So and to go back and try something that didn't work in the past, it's like...
Oh my gosh, people will always have an opinion about what they think you should be doing. But here's what I learned, another huge life lesson from having, you get so many life lessons working out and having a business and being married. But one of my life lessons that came up was my people-pleasing issues. If somebody wanted it, I thought it was good customer service to give it, and not staying maybe in line with my own desires, my own dreams, or my own giftings, and then I'd go into someone else's lane and do someone else's gifting and provide a service that maybe they should be going somewhere else for, but because I wanted to please someone and keep them, or fear of losing someone and losing the money for it, I was doing things that was not in my lane. Then I created disharmony in my frequency, lack of satisfaction. So, do what you like that makes you happy, and the people that match that vibration will find you. They will gravitate to you. But if you're putting out a signal into the universe that is confused, then nobody knows they won't know how to find you, because you have a confusing frequency being put out there.
What I saw that happen is, if you do what other people want you to do, and you're not necessarily living your dream or doing what you desire,
aligned with yourself, your heart,
you will attract the wrong people.
Yes.
And then that makes the whole thing is just way off.
And then you're putting out fires, and you're taking blame, and you're, just having to listen to people gripe and groan when they weren't even the right match in the first place.
I think that's one of the things that we learned, is just to be patient, trust the process, don't rush it. And we know what we want in life. We know what we want out of our business, and we just work toward it. And all out of nowhere, I've been dripping on John for, I'd like to say, about a year.
Really?
Yeah, 6 months I started going at him a little hard.
Well, and then the gym he was working at, it closed, and so you just don't know. You have to trust the timing. We
had a goal to have that third trainer in here by the end of the year, and he calls us like a week before New Year.
The New Year. Hey.
But we were patient. I look at a lot of people in the gym. I ran into Tim in the gym. Oh, I look at a lot of people in the gym. People contact me. A guy came in and he wanted to get on the team, and I'm like, they have to be the right match.
And the right match. We've had a lot of people. Can you imagine 16 years of working at this business, 7 years in this gym, but working with the wrong people just because we needed the help. Because we had so much business that we couldn't handle by ourselves, that we took on people that were not even a right match as a family member. And that, that was a mistake too.
But this might be why it feels so good with the people that are here, because they actually match.
Oh my gosh, we have the same core values, the same family values, on it's
like we speak in the same language, we're on the same frequency.
I don't have to make See, what's the thing that we don't do at our club is we don't sell. We don't have a sales desk. We don't have a sales team. I don't have to make anybody do anything. And what I found is if you have to make someone do something, you like remind them of their contract, remind them of the agreement that you have with one another, whether it be an employee or a client. If you have to remind them about their goals and remind them about what you said that we were coming together to do, and then you're constantly trying to sell somebody, that they don't end up being the right match because I'm constantly trying to motivate them to do what's right. And then in the end, they didn't want that.
It takes up so much time.
Yeah, so just trust the universe will bring you the right, keep vibrating at from your core values and morals, and then the right people will show up. I think that's the biggest tip.
Time. Yep. Just be patient.
Don't want to serve the wrong people.
Clem she would ask me, do you have anybody? Is there anybody? I said, well, I'll just, I might have this person. I might have that person.
Yeah.
We interviewed a couple. It just wasn't.
We hired people.
Yeah,
Oh,
no more crisis hiring.
Yeah.
And bad attitudes.
But hey, we're independent
ask them to do something
trainer
and they
co-working space. But we're not going to let every trainer in here either, because it messes up it rots the barrel of apples if you put a rotten apple in there.
Yeah, I'd rather just wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're more than with Clem and I. We started this business with the two of us.
So it can still survive with just two of us.
It can survive with the two of us. The help is great.
Fear, that's another big tip. We're coming to a close, but if you're making business decisions or any decisions out of fear, just don't make that decision. Take some time, put your hand on your heart, sink into your heart, and get to a higher frequency vibration of faith, trust, love, and find the real. But if you're doing something out of fear of loss, fear of falling behind, fear of not looking good in front of, your peers or the other business people.
What's that, FOMO?
That's fear of missing out. Oh. Yeah, any kind of fear. If you're making a decision out of any kind of insecurity or fear, then don't make it. Don't make that decision. Not yet. Just wait until you can pray, meditate, dance around, get joy vibrations into your being, and then.
She just helped me make a decision right now.
Did you dance?
I'm deciding if I should put all of it into crypto or get some stock.
Someone's investing with our play money.
And you know what? I went into a crypto mentality, and somebody said something, and I'm like, the fear of missing out. Like, I don't want to miss out on the stock, but that's not why I'm here.
Yeah,
thank you, Clem.
We end up doing things. It's just not the right vibration, and then we gravitate the wrong things towards us when we make decisions from a fear base as opposed to a faith or trust or love and surrender and
I believe we have the answers inside of us. Mm-hmm. We know the answers. Don't second guess yourself. You know the answer.
Yeah. So I think those are our biggest main tips. But over all of them, if you're going to business with your partner, take communication classes. Get that list of feelings. Learn to identify how you feel and what you need, because the things that you're fighting about are not really the actual things you're fighting about. And then when you're clear about how you feel and what you need, then you can sit down and make you can make better decisions together as a partnership as opposed to in competition, because your partner shouldn't be your competitor. And sometimes when we have our ego in the way, it can feel competitive. Like, no, don't do it that way. I'm going to do it my way. And, so that's my biggest tip. Learn your feelings. How about you? What's your biggest?
To express your feelings. Patience. Be patient.
Be patient. I think we gave a lot.
And don't like what you just said, don't make the decisions out of fear. Mm-hmm. We know the answers. Go with your gut. Your gut's gonna tell you what you need to do, or your spirit. Yeah, we say the gut, the spirit, the energy.
But if you're constantly putting on a mask and people pleasing, or trying to be something else that you aren't. Stay in your lane.
You'll be setting yourself up for the Great Depression doing that. It's a coming.
All right, so if you're interested, and maybe you're a trainer and you're listening to this and you're like, hey, that's a cool concept, co-working space for trainers, check it out. Come visit here in Federal Way. If you're a client who wants personal training, group classes, or show prep, or just fat loss online coaching, we have that too. Check us out. Have a great and wonderful week. Thanks for following us. Share and be blessed.